Welcome to the Straight Out of Home Video podcast, part of the Geeky Waffle Network.
Hello and welcome to Straight Out of Home Video. I'm Vanessa and with me is Candace.
Zombie for hello.
Thank you. Yes, because apparently zombies have their own language that we know from the Zombies DCOM movie, which is hilarious because I did not know what to expect about this movie. And and before I even hit play, I saw something about, blah, 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 musical. And I was like, oh no, really? Basically, they tried to make High School Musical, but with zombies. Is that kind of the feeling you got a little bit?
It reminded me more of like Descendants, where it was Descendants meets High School Musical, which Descendants is also a musical, but it's like, okay, these kids from the different area get to go to school with you now, and like the conflict and how like two people from other sides fall in love and all that kind of stuff.
Correct. Yes, I think that basically sums it up. I was just confused from the beginning because obviously they did this whole, they don't have a lot of time, right? It's it's Disney Channel original, so they have about an hour and a half. And so they can't exactly build the full world, but the backstory literally had, I could not figure out what happened. They said that it was because of a lime soda, and it obviously spilled on something.
At a reactor of some kind.
Yes.
And can I just say, Disney says there was an apocalypse where a bunch of people died. Like, you see, like, it's an animated, like, vector kind of form. And you see, like, zombies attacking other people. But, like, you don't see any blood or anything like that. But it's very much implied. And then eventually they figure out how to, like, keep the zombie from wanting to eat brains at bay. And 50 years later.
Okay. Oh, did you see that? I didn't see how many years it was later, because I was like, what is the timeline for this?
They say at the beginning. Did you not watch the beginning, Vanessa, where they told you so much exposition? This whole thing. The two characters, Addison and what's his face? Zed, because he's zombie. Everybody who's a zombie has a Z in their name.
Yep, apparently.
They just talk to the camera. There's so much, I guess there's just so much information they need to get out and so much world building they need to do. And it's for children and Vanessa, who needs things spelled out to them.
Apparently, yes. No, I didn't hear the 50 years thing, because I think I was just I might have just been a little bit taken off guard. So I was not absorbing things the way that I probably should have for this movie.
Yeah. But Addison, the main character, the blonde girl who's a cheerleader, she says that her grandfather was bit on the ear by a zombie, and that's why her family hates zombies.
Yes. And
I guess I couldn't say like killed by one,
even though probably many people were killed, because again, zombies eat brains, and they said that they definitely ate brains at the beginning. Yeah. So a lot of people probably ended up dying. And I don't know, this I just feel like a lot of things about this caught me off guard, and I just don't understand exactly how all of this happened in the course of 50 years. So
it feels like it needed more time for all that to happen, because
it did, because especially since they created like almost their own culture. And first of all, for years and years and years, the zombies obviously wouldn't have been creating their own culture. They would have just been eating brains and attacking.
Or they were very fast about it. Like 6 months later, they're like, here's a wristwatch that will contain your zombie.
I don't think so, because if her grandfather, well, I guess that could have been 50 years ago. I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know when this happened. Like, I don't know when they got the wristwatch, when all of it kind of started calming down. But either way, they're still exiled, even though they now have the ability to control all of this stuff. And they start having children. How does that work?
I guess zombie is also genetic. But yeah, so they have children.
But how do zombies have children? Aren't they the undead?
how do vampires get hard? They don't have blood pumping. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have a lot of questions about zombies, vampires,
and more questions. I have so many questions because I was like, wait, why is this? Science caught up. They don't exactly explain what they did with the wristwatch. Why, like there's all these weird colors, which I guess was just more of a
kids like bright colors.
Yeah, choice. Again, how do they have kids? Why do they have a zombie language? Why is there only one zombie who's like very zombie and the rest of them are just kind of normal? Like Bonzo is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Bonzo is very.
He only speaks in the zombie language, which again, zombie language, and he just kind of like acts like a little bit more
zombie,
like.
He also acts like the dumb best friend too.
Yes,
so it's
and
it's a lot of information. Did you know, Vanessa?
Yes,
this was originally in 2012. This is an unaired pilot called Zombies and Cheerleaders. That's what it's based on. It was going to be a whole series, but I think Disney didn't pick up on it. And then they were like, oh, zombies are cool. We ran out of things to do. Let's go back to this and just make it a decom movie.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for a series because then they have more time to go through lore.
Exactly. And they did. And it's, it's very weirdly theatrical, not just because of obviously the musical aspect of it, but I almost feel like it would work better as a theater production than how they were setting it up, because they had all of the, I don't know, the exposition from monologuing almost at the beginning, or it kind of feels, it's either that or it feels kind of like a kid's show with like explaining to the camera. I couldn't figure out.
It's like Blue's Clues.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't figure out exactly
me of, or Dora. Like they didn't ask questions to the audience, but they like waved to the camera at the end.
They were very they had exposition happening, and it was just I don't know.
Okay, let's explain the two characters.
Yeah,
the two main characters.
Mm-hmm.
Zed, because Z zombie is a zombie who's going to normal high school for the first time ever, because that's what all these movies do. And he wants to be on the football team, but the principal's like racist against zombies, and it's like, no.
Yes. This is what. It was all very racial, kind of situation, which was very uncomfortable.
Because they have their own town.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. Their own town. They were segregated in the school. Yeah. It was very uncomfortable. And then you have
Addison.
Yes. Addison, who is
a weird genetic.
Or whatever. Yeah, I don't okay, so I thought that was going to be some sort of tie back to. So here's the thing with Addison. She wants to be a cheerleader. She's part of the normal human town. But you find out in the very beginning, she tells you that she has this weird genetic defect thing where her hair is like white, basically.
Yeah.
And so she has to wear a wig in order to fit in, because anybody different in that town, it's just bad news. But then so that's kind of like a through line where it's like, okay, well, she's a little different. And first of all, I don't think they really needed to have that as anything.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I didn't get why they had that in there, because you already have the difference of the zombies, unless that meant that she was just more open to it. But I think that she could have been just being normal. And I feel like that would have made a better statement, actually. But I know, but two, I thought that because of that, there would be something along the lines of somewhere in her history, there was a zombie.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Relative,
I thought maybe, hey, there's 2 more movies, Vanessa. Maybe we discover something about her.
Maybe it comes out, because I was like, this is very, very odd. Why have this detail? It's not necessary. And so when nothing happened because of it, I was like, wait, why is but again, maybe it's just because they have the 2 other movies. So
also, that girl doesn't even look like a natural blonde to begin with. Her eyebrows are very dark, so she has blonde hair and it already looks very odd. I was very
and then she she has the Snow White hair, so
yeah. But yeah, so she really wants to be a cheerleader. Her cousin Bucky,
yeah.
It's been a rough few days for Bucky. is cheerleading captain, and he is just like that actor's giving it 112%.
Oh, he is.
He's
And
all in.
he is. And but I like one of his first lines is basically like, everyone loves me. I have jazz hands. And I'm like, what does that mean? I just
Sorry, I'm not, nobody can see what I just did, and I'm glad because that's for Waffles After Dark.
Yeah, but I'm like, what does that mean? Why would everybody love you because you have jazz hands?
It's because cheerleading is very popular in Seabrook High School. Was it Seabrook?
Yes, sure, but I don't know.
Because their football team was very bad.
Yeah, apparently. Which I will say, of all the things in there, though, I really loved the coach.
Yeah, the coach was like, let's just lose not as bad as usual.
Yeah, and but he just like has his like he basically is just like, I just want to move out of my mom's house and like have a successful life. Like, can we please just win like a couple of times so that I can get paid and like really start my life?
He was so sad.
It was really sad, but he was very funny and he played into it so well.
Yeah.
And later on, because the coach actually ends up, because so basically Zed ends up they go to a pep rally. They kind of like, find their way into the pep rally, and Bucky, because he does not want
He's
zombies. Yeah. He tells them to bring the spirit sticks, and the spirit sticks they light on fire, and apparently zombies like really don't like fire, and so
is that supposed to be like a Frankenstein thing?
I don't really know exactly where that came from, but either way, I was like, okay, well, you didn't explain this at all, but I guess they hate fire, and apparently that will set them off. Like that it just doesn't make any sense that there would be like such a fatal flaw in that Z band that would happen, but it does. And so Bonzo is the first one to kind of like go crazy, and then Zed goes after him, and he kind of zombies out.
I thought it was because he hit something. Like
I didn't think. Maybe he did hit something. I thought it was just because he was freaking out about it.
Well, Bonzo freaked out because of the fire, but I think he got pushed and like something hit Zed's wrist, and he all of a sudden like had this like super strength and like zombied out, and that impressed the coach.
That impressed the coach. The coach is like, we need to have him on the team. He convinces the principal, other P word, principal to let him on the team, and Zed agrees only if that means that there could be integration of zombies and humans.
Okay, so Vanessa, I was like, okay, so is this also a like steroid kind of thing? Because Zed messes with his wrist to get like performance enhancingness so he can win to segregate in.
Well, I didn't really think of it as steroids, but I guess it can be looked at that way. I was thinking of it more along the lines of just like hulking out and it being cheating.
Yeah.
But but yes, I think it definitely can be looked at that way as well, because he also starts feeling a lot of negative effects from it.
Yeah. There's so much going on in this movie.
I know. So he lets him on the team, and the team at first is very against it, and so they start kind of like sabotaging it, because they're like, well, I'm just not going to block for him. And but that's one thing that I love about the coaches, is that when they go back in for their break, he's just like, okay, here's the plan, and he starts drawing out a plan. He's just like, move forward, do something, anything.
Yeah, he was the best. He was the funniest part, honestly. Some of the adults played it like, I don't know, like not too hammy, but just played it like very like, this is a kid's thing. But the coach was, he was hammy.
He was just having fun,
but he was embracing it.
Yes, he was having. He embraced it completely. And yeah, that was just that he was awesome. But anyway, I loved that part.
Jonathan Langdon is the coach, and I want to give him props.
Yes, he was great.
He's our age.
Oh, he is, really? Oh, that makes me sad. not that he looked old or anything, but just the fact that, like, the adults in the movie now that's our age.
Yeah, before the stuff that we remember, the kids are like were older than us, but now like God, I get why kids are like this. Bright
Yes.
colors, there's music, there's a love story, Zed and Addison fall in love. I think there's like a whole zombie like culture and dance. Like Zed takes her to a zombie mash.
Yeah, which
And
again, like that stuff I guess I could see as like a cult, like, you know, something that has built recently. So that one at least kind of checked out a little bit. But it was, yeah, I feel like it was just from the beginning confusing. I didn't know what to think about it because and the thing is, it's well choreographed.
the kids are talented.
Yeah,
I mean, there
everyone
was
is
a
very
lot of cuts
talented.
with the main cast doing like acrobatics and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Every time they would do something, you wouldn't see their face, but like the whole dance troupe or dance group they had, super great. They moved really well, and they did their little like zombie like dragging the feet kind of thing.
Yeah, it was very like I actually expected more to like I felt like there should have been something in there like thriller-y, but I guess that probably would have
Hmm.
been a licensing issue. Uh,
Yeah,
but they were,
there's a
yeah,
whole
I
thing
think
about
mhm.
there's a whole thing about choreography and how is that is there's a whole law issues right now because like Fortnite took the Charleston dance,
Mhm.
from
Yeah.
Fresh Prince again. That comes up.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, I think in general, I think the cast was actually pretty good, and like everybody, like, yeah, all of the dancers, choreography, that was actually pretty good. So I'm conflicted as somebody who, just enjoys musicals,
Yeah, I
enjoying
think
those parts.
the art direction was really good, especially for like a Disney Channel budget. I think the
Yes.
the colors, everything like that, it was very well done. Because I always have to like preface that is like, yeah, okay, so the CGI is not going to be the best and all this
Hmm.
kind of stuff, but overall, like they got some talented people on here that took what they had
Yeah, and
and
we're
ran
just
with
like,
it.
okay, let's go with it. Yep.
Okay, so the
Uh,
guy who plays Zed
huh.
is Milo Manheim, and he
Mhm.
is the son of Cameron Manheim, who was in The Practice and a bunch of other things. If you look her up, you would be like, I know her. So I thought it was
Wait, what?
interesting
Oh,
that
his mom.
yeah, his mom.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
just thought that was interesting because like he had like a familiar face, and I'm like, I've never seen this kid before in my life. But
right.
then I was like, oh, I know his mom. I mean, I don't know his mom, but like she was in 10th Kingdom as Snow White. So like I was obsessed with 10th Kingdom as a kid.
Hmm. Yeah, he was actually like I again I found him to be talented. I found pretty much most of the cast to be talented.
Yeah, they were
And
great.
like, yeah, like like I actually like, so Trevor Torgman, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he plays Bucky.
Mhm.
He, like, at first I wasn't sure because he seemed like he was like obviously just one note, but he actually had quite a few moments in here that I was pretty impressed with, especially because obviously, but he's the stereotypical, he's the bad guy, the one
He's
who's
the mean
against
guy.
everything, yeah. And but at the end, when he obviously he has a change of heart, which everybody does.
Yeah.
He actually plays that off really, really well, and so I
Yeah.
was actually kind of impressed with him by the end as well.
He was funny. He again, there's a whole dramatic like cheerleading tryout scene where they're literally dragging the tryouts out off the court when they're out, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're ripping up numbers and it's just like very like theatrical. And honestly, like
Yes.
everybody's embracing it and doing like going all out.
Mhm. It was, yeah, again, that there was quite a few things in this where I'm like, "Okay, you guys are really, really giving it your all, and you're very talented." So that
But can we
part that
okay,
part at least. Mhm.
I realized we didn't talk about what the zombies look like. The
Oh.
zombies are just pale and have green hair.
Well, and they have the red around their eyes.
Oh yeah. But it's like
But
but
this is the tamed zombies, right? After they
yeah.
have the Z-band, because when they don't have the Z-band, then they start looking a little bit more like actual zombies, like their
Yeah,
veins are popping out.
but the thing is, like, you could tell, like, shots where there were multiple takes because you can see the makeup kind of fading in some shots. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
they're getting their natural.
you do. You're
Yeah.
filming all day. You're
Yeah.
natural. You do. You're filming all day. There's not necessarily consistency. I just like one more thing that I wanted to say about just zombie culture. They apparently also have been around enough, or that they changed their last names to make it sound more zombie-like. Because did you hear what his last name is?
No.
Necrodopoulos.
Oh my god.
One, why is it Greek sounding?
Maybe like
Two,
his.
why did you what?
Maybe the original is Greek, and they're like, but we make it zombie.
But we need to make it sound zombie. Why? I don't know. It just seemed it was just, again, that anything that they had to say about zombie culture, I was just like, this would be, I feel like they would have had to have been zombies for a way longer time for this to be a thing. But I will. Oh, and one more shout out to the girl who played Zoe, who's Kingston Foster. She was so cute, and I think that she did a really good job.
Yeah,
And obviously,
Zed's little sister.
yes, that was Zed's little sister, and also she kind of is one of what I liked about her being in there was that I feel like that was kind of what changed. Instead of, like, because, like, basically the way that they convince everybody that zombies are okay is, I mean, it's a slow build for the most part, but then at the very end they do this whole big number for the cheer competition, and everyone's like, okay, now we kind of understand. But I think what really turned things around was when because, like, the kid went out there, and it's a zombie, but it's a kid, and she's just like cheering her heart out, and everyone's like, oh, maybe this is bad that we hate zombies.
Some people booed her, though. That's the thing.
Some people did.
There were
boo
people
her.
booing children.
Yes, but Bucky, who is like the really big bad, that's when his heart changes. He's like, oh, this is kind of mean that I've been so terrible to everybody.
But I love how Bucky has assistant captains, and they're Lacey, Tracy, and
Stacy. Yep.
Apparently, there was a deleted scene that shows that Lacey's real name is Jenny, but she changed it because of him.
I would have liked that to be in there, actually.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Also, one thing that I didn't like was, like, one of the biggest kind of I guess I don't want to say it was I guess it was like one of the turning points or one of the climactic moments was one of the songs that Addison is singing. And but then they do this montage literally of the movie that we just watched. Why? We didn't need that. We
Disney
just watched that
every time. They do that in The Descendants too, with the main character. She sings the song and she's flashing back to things that we saw 5 minutes ago,
Yes. I was like, we don't, why? We don't need this. We could have done literally anything else.
And then she, like, dramatically, like, after the zombies get taken away because the cheerleaders mess with their bands and they go all zombie and, like, they're like, okay, no, you guys go back to your side of the town. She sings that dramatic song, and then she rips off her wig, and everyone's like, oh.
It's like, now we don't believe you at all, or we don't want to listen to you at all. And I guess that was the only reason to have for the white hair. I have no idea.
2 more movies, Vanessa. Who knows?
2 more movies.
But I thought at some point that Bucky, because Bucky is also her cousin, and he knows about her hair. I thought he was going to snatch her wig off.
I thought so too. No, I thought I really did.
Like, yes, like, don't test me or something.
Yes, and see, that would have also made sense why she had the white hair. Is just for something like that, with like a dramatic reveal where it's just like Bucky saying like, "Oh, don't believe her" or whatever, right?
Yeah,
I thought that too, but he didn't, and I really don't understand why, because it definitely wasn't like above him to do that.
I guess they wanted him redeemable, and like,
yeah, true.
And they wanted
they did some pretty crappy things for him to be redeemable anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I think overall that I have conflicted feelings about this movie. I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But I have, so it there were many things that caught me off guard and many things that I have a lot of questions about. And I also just don't think that it was like a necessary thing. But then again, you know, it's not like every movie has to be made because there's something new to say. But do you want to guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score was?
I think 75 because I think some kids are on here now.
60%.
Wow. That's low. That's
less than
low.
You Lucky Dog, which is astounding to me.
That is shocking.
I definitely enjoyed this more than You Lucky Dog, so I don't know.
Oh, there's going to be a animated series. Zombies, the reanimated series. Get it?
Oh, good God. Yeah, ha, 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 ha. Funny.
Kind of funny.
Oh, I just love that they did what they did with High School Musical, and they're just like, yeah, why not just make it a series of movies and just keep adding more things?
Just changing something slightly, you know.
Anyway, I don't know. What are your overall, like, what's your overall impression of this?
It's very much the formula of most of these DComs, especially the ones with the sports and, you know, things like that and people being different. But I totally get why kids are obsessed with this. I totally understand why there's two more of these movies. So it's very merchandisable, really.
Mm-hmm.
I bet there were kids who dressed up like all those characters for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
I probably saw them. I just didn't notice, you know?
Well, and it's a really easy costume. All you have to do is, like, spray your hair green, do, like, some pale makeup and the red around the eyes, and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we will have 2 more of these.
Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued.
We'll let you know if we ever find out about the white hair, unless you already know because you've seen these movies.
Yeah, there's werewolves in the next one, so who knows?
Of course there are.
The third one has aliens.
Oh God, why? Oh, all right. Well, at least it's, I don't know. I guess the good there, or the good that I can think that comes out of this is it's priming kids to like sci-fi, which I'm all for.
Yeah.
Sci-fi and like fantasy and all that. Although, you know, again, this is probably one of the brighter zombie movies that's out there.
This is the brightest thing I've ever seen. So many pastels.
And again, you don't actually really see them eating brains, so.
Yep.
Oh man. Well, I think that that's probably all we can say about this movie until we watch the next 2. Candace, where can they find us?
You can find us at thegeekywaffle.com, geeky_waffle on Twitter, the Geeky Waffle everywhere else.
Awesome. Well, I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Candace. That's zombie for bye. But Vanessa.
And yes, and we hope you have a happily ever after until
someone spills lime soda.
Yeah, someone spills lime soda, and there's a halfway zombie apocalypse that actually turns into zombie culture.